Hey everybody, it's Tuesday night and it's nearly 9:30 and it's time to go behind the hedges. I'm your host Mitch and I'm here with Matt, and tonight we are going to be talking about a number of things, but starting off we're going to be talking about our favorite dogs from the 2021 National Championship season. But first, let's do this.
I wake up every minute with the fever dreams. I push my mind to a limit where it needs to feed. I work blind, got vision I don't need to see. I'm picking mind over matter, I believe in me. I need to find more hours in the day to breathe. Need to find more power in the way I be.
Are you still pinching yourself every morning?
Not anymore. I'm used to it by now.
You're used to it by now.
I mean, they're just pleasure of wealth and taste, and quite honestly, I was accustomed to it the whole time.
There are just moments in the day when I'm just sitting there at work and I look around and I think, damn, we're national champions. And it just like kind of washes over me all over again.
We were national champions in 2017, but the refs cheated and called Tyler Simmons offsides when he was onside. In fact, let me check. Hold on. Newsflash. Hold on. Breaking news. Yep. Tyler Simmons still onside.
Still onside.
They want to talk about injuries.
I saw where Tyler Simmons even had a tweet like after the game, and it said his tweet was like, "I was."
Deal.
So yeah, man. So in order to win a natty, you got to have players and do that. And there are special moments and special situations occur over the course of the season. And we talk about this a lot. We talk about guys who rose up and had those moments. And I mean, you could just go down the roster, right, and just point to guys, and tell stories about every single one of them. But there has to be players that just capture the essence of the whole thing, right? Ones you're going to remember for years and years. And I have two. I have I have a number, but I have two special ones I want to talk about. One on offense and one on defense. How about you?
I've got one on offense and one on defense as well. What a coincidence!
What a coincidence! So I'm willing to start.
If there's anyone watching, and we know that there are, feel free to feel free to subscribe, and then feel free, if you're a Georgia fan, to put your favorite dogs in the comments.
Oh, yes, and we will absolutely share them on the screen. Number one, my offensive player. My offensive player, I won't say the offensive player of the year. I'm just going to say the dude that I'm going to remember from this season is none other than a player near and dear to both of our hearts. Is going to be Lad McHonkey. I'm going to call him out, man. I'm going to call him out.
Honky.
A year ago, you nor I knew who the hell Lad McHonkey was. We had no idea. If that man had fallen through your roof and wriggled around in your lap for a little while, you would not have known who he is. But challenge you to find somebody in Dog Nation who doesn't know Lad McHonkey right now. How about it?
What, you want to know my thoughts on the honky?
Yeah. Tell me what, I mean,
he sneaky good. I remember the day we signed him. The reaction was, what? Why?
Yeah. Why?
He's going to die in spring practice. Some skinny white kid from Tennessee was like a low 3-star. Okay, well, whatever. But then all through the season, there'd be that play that he would make. Like that play. He just out of nowhere. Oh, the honky comes down with another one. I'm talking about burning dudes. Smoked Auburn.
Yeah.
Would just make those like tough catches here and there to keep the chains moving or put us in a position to be third and short. Maybe it was because opposing defenses and fans felt like we felt. They were like, this ain't nothing. And then it turned into something.
Right. But I think the guy had to make plays. He had to make plays because the other option was certain death. If he wasn't going to pick up the first down, dude, someone was going to murder that poor guy on the field.
Our version of Hunter Renfrow.
Yeah. Tell me who your offensive player is.
My offensive player is none other than Brock Bowser, Bowers.
Yeah, talking about coming out of nowhere.
When he takes the field, what are you going to do? Because he can block you.
Mm-hmm.
He can run around you. He can run through you. He can catch over you. He can also just run routes and just not get touched.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
stop it. Now, he's my favorite from last year. This year, when we have 3 of them possibly that good, all at one time, again, what are you going to do?
Maybe even 4. Who knows?
It's possibility.
But I want to bring this up. I brought this up a few times on the show, and I feel like it's worth repeating. Right, there was a lot of chatter around Eric Gilbert last season. You know, him coming on the show. Robert came on our show and from DGD podcast, and he said, "What if we get Darion Kendrick and Eric Gilbert?" And we laughed at him. I mean, you laughed really hard at him. I gotta be honest, right? And I got the receipts here to prove it. But what if he said, "What if we bring in both of them?" You know, and I was like, "Well, why? Why would we do that? Why would Eric Gilbert come here and play with Darnell Washington?" And Robert said, "Because he's going to ball out, right?" And so we had these 2 tight ends, Eric Gilbert and Darnell Washington, right? And that's the only thing that anybody could talk about. I was like, oh man, Georgia's got these 2 monstrous tight ends, right? And at that point in the season, like a year ago today, we were talking about Georgia's tight ends being electric, but the names were Washington and Gilbert, right? And at the end of the season, Georgia's tight ends were electric, but those weren't the names, right? This kid, and so
Napa, California. I didn't know they grew them like that in Napa, California. I know they grew grapes.
Right. I was going to say the only thing they grow in Napa is grapes, right?
Right.
So I want to bring this point up. I brought it up a couple times, and I remember Todd Monken. Somebody asked Todd Monken, when you watch Eric Gilbert practice, they said, who does he remind you of? And you know, they're fishing for a comparison. You know, they're fishing for Gronkowski or something. They want to hear a name.
One of them.
Yeah, and so but the name he brought, he said, well, he reminds me of Brock Bowers, and we were like, well, that must mean he's terrible, right? Because he's reminding you of some freshman we've never seen. And then we saw what Todd Monken knew already, and we were like, oh, so that's what you meant. And it was good, and there was much rejoicing. So,
all right, who's your favorite defensive player?
I want to hear yours first.
I want to go last.
All
right, fine. I'll go first. Fine. I'm afraid I've got some bad news for all of our opponents and all of our doubters and all of the anti-Georgia or Georgia ignorant folks out there. Yeah, we had a historic defense, and yeah, we sent 5 in the first round, made history, and won a natty and all that. But the best player on that defense is still on the team. My man, number 88, Jalen Carter.
Yes,
and let me tell you why. Outside of Lewis Seen, who probably should have been prosecuted for hits, Jalen Carter was laying down the law on everybody he touched.
Yeah.
Not only that, but when they lined him and Jordan Davis up on the, I guess it was the right, no, it was on the left side, on the goal line against Bama and the Natty, and Jalen Carter by himself took out like 3 Bama defenders, and we scored. Zeus got his first TD. That was the moment I was like, yeah, this guy's not, this shouldn't be happening. And that wasn't the first time he did that. He did that against, I guess it was
Arkansas. Yeah.
He took 3 defenders from Arkansas. You know, the Arkansas they said was going to come in there and show us a real defense.
Yeah. Well, what was funny is them putting all that meat on the line with, especially with like Jordan Davis. He's the premier player, the tip of the spear and all that, you know.
Too.
And you
see
Carter,
man. It's like, I don't know. It's like he just force of nature, and we're gonna see him again.
Yeah, there were people who watched that defense and said, you know, you guys talk about Jordan Davis and potential Heisman candidacy, you know, and Jordan Davis, and I still think the world of Jordan. I will go to my grave thinking the world of Jordan Davis. But there are people who watched that team and said, yeah, he might not even be the best player on your line, And then people would say, "Well, you mean Trevon Walker? Is he going to be the one you pick? Because he's the NFL #1 overall draft pick. Is that the guy you're going to pick
overall?" No, he ain't the best one.
And not even him, right? And what about Devontae Wyatt? He went in the first round too. Not even him. So there are 3 first-round NFL draft picks on that defensive line, and it's reasonable to say that they weren't the best player on the defensive line. So that's what's sickening and sad, right? And y'all got to deal with that joker one more time, right?
Yeah. He stays healthy, man. He's going to be problematic. He was already problematic. Guy, I mean, he can block, he can tackle, he can eat up blocks. He can, he's 88. Keep your eye on 88. That's my favorite dog from 2021 on the defense.
So I'm glad that you are playing the straight man tonight, right? You have decided to pick 2 quality players who are also your favorites. Brock Bowers and Jalen Carter, excellent players and going to be impact players in this coming season. And I, of course, went with Ladd McConkey because of what we didn't know that he was, and he turned out to be good. And so on the defensive side of the ball, I got to go with my guy. I'm going to go with my guy, number 47, Action Dan Jackson, my favorite of all of the defensive players.
Why?
Because at every position, you have an absolute murderer on the field. Every single position. There are 10 legitimate killers on that field. And then there's Dan Jackson. The only thing we knew about Dan Jackson coming into the season was that in the spring game, Darnell Washington flattened him like a possum.
Dude. No. I mean, yes, but Jackson tried to spear Darnell and looked like one of them orcs trying to run into a tree ant.
No, dude. I have seen armadillos have greater success against transfer trucks in Texas.
Looked like Rey Mysterio versus Kevin Nash in Panama City. He speared him into the semi truck.
My guy,
your favorite player on the defense?
Yeah, he's my favorite, and here's why. He blocked a punt here and there. He blocked a punt, didn't recover it, but he blocked it. When Georgia was thin at defensive back, Dan Jackson was the guy, and he made it out there onto the field. Did he make any spectacular plays? Not especially. He did a couple of things on special teams, but go back and watch the Keely Ringo interception. Here comes Keely, and he's going to score, right? And there's one of the Alabama players who's streaking across the field there to try to tackle him, and try to knock him out of bounds or do something, right? And Dan Jackson ran in the way. And I'm not going to sit here and say that Dan Jackson blocked a man. That's not what I'm going to say, because that's not what happened. That is not an accurate description of what happened. But what Dan Jackson did was he said, "I'm willing to die." I'm willing to die on this 5-yard line. Are you willing to die? And the Alabama player
was Hall. Wasn't that I don't know how to say his name.
Ajayi Hall.
I think Ajayi Hall tried to finish what Darnell started. All right.
And that's what happened. And so Dan Jackson said, "I've already been hit by an ant. What are you going to do to me?"
Bring it.
And then Keely Ringo danced in the end zone. Hey, we got to say a comment here. Action Dan turned into Lieutenant Dan.
Damn sure did.
Action Dan, you ain't got no legs. Wonderful, gentlemen. Hey, that was fun. Dude, we could go on and on and on with this, and we probably will at some point or another. But we got some other things we need to talk about. Ain't that right?
Next week we'll talk about favorite plays, favorite moments.
That sounds good to me. All right, folks. See you in a bit. Hey everybody, welcome back to Behind the Hedges. I'm your host Mitch, and this here is Matt. And it's a Tuesday night, but you might be watching this on some other night. We don't really care, but we're glad you're with us tonight. We just got through finished talking about some fun stuff. Let's talk now about a little bit of more serious business. I don't know how serious you want to, but it's worth talking about, and that is portal activity, especially the lack portal activity. So Matt, a lot has been made about the portal, but especially as it relates to Georgia not being active in the portal this year. So, question for you: Why is that?
We don't need it. We're trying to get rid of dudes. We talked about this last show. It was murky on where we were with scholarships because about a month ago the official count was 89, including some of the people who transferred out.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden last week we read, oh, no, it's below 85. We could probably still add one, but it's not really official because we don't really know. So I don't know what's going on. All I know is I think most of the chatter online is because a lot of writers and experts got made to look wrong, and they don't like to look wrong because every week it was, oh, just wait till Georgia gets started in the portal. Oh, they can afford to do this and they can afford to do that. No, and this is definitely the direction they're going to go, and they're going to utilize the portal. Just you watch. Here it comes. Week goes by. Oh, no. Here it comes. Watch. Week goes by. Oh, this is the week. This is the week because the deadline's coming up. Watch what Georgia does. Week goes by. Nothing.
Yeah. So now the deadline's passed.
Deadline's passed.
That's it. So Georgia's not going to do anything.
Non-graduates had until May 1st to enter the transfer portal if they were to take advantage of the one-time transfer exemption. So I guess you could still transfer, but you're going to sit.
Yeah.
I think, right?
Yeah.
So this is what was written. I'm going to cite this, okay? This
Sure.
was a concern on the Dog Nation Daily website. To this point, what is most telling with Georgia, though, is that it has not yet taken in any transfers. Even with power programs like Alabama, Ohio State, and USC. Is USC still a power program? Another show. Taking in multiple transfers this offseason, talking about those previous schools. Georgia is much closer to Clemson this offseason in terms of transfer philosophy. No,
How's that?
Yeah, tell me. Yeah, explain that to me. They don't go to explain that. They just they throw shit out there because whoever this was got made to look like a fool, and now they're trying to get little subliminal digs in here, and it's a dig because it's well documented that Clemson, i.e. Dabo Swinney, is morally opposed to this new era that we're living in. He doesn't like it. He don't want it. That's not us.
That's not what Georgia's doing.
What's the difference? What's the difference? Break it down for him, Mitch.
I mean, like you were just saying, the Dabo philosophy is just being morally opposed or whatever to the transfer portal. Just they're not going to utilize it because it's impure or it's not it flies in the face of the game or whatever. And that's not what Kirby's doing. Kirby's taken transfers before. I mean, we took Eli Wolf and Lawrence Cager and Tyke Smith and Darion Kendrick last year. Arik Gilbert, for God's sakes. We've taken guys out of the portal. But right now, why are we not taking guys out of the portal? Because, I mean, we would take guys in the portal if there were guys in the portal that were better than the guys that are already on our roster.
Have you ever gone to the grocery store and bought too many groceries?
And I'm sorry, say that again?
Have you ever gone to the grocery store and screwed up and bought too many groceries?
Oh, sure, yeah.
And you get home, you got nowhere to put them.
Right, I get what you're saying.
That's where we at.
Yeah, but also it's like when you already have a full pantry, and of the top cut beef and all that.
I got enough of everything. I don't need. We're not in a position of need. We are not in a position of poverty.
Yeah. I mean, why are you going to look at your top cut beef that you have stockpiled and then go pick up a can of Spam? Why? I mean, I ain't knocking Spam. Spam's good, right? I don't need any Spam. I can make Wagyu hamburgers for the next couple of weeks. Yeah,
so that's that.
That's that. I'd tell anybody who is a Georgia fan who is wringing their hands or clutching their pearls or whatever, biting their fingernails, don't
chill.
Man.
Last week, chill out. We're gonna get to that a little bit later too, because I think some of y'all need a reminder based on these message boards I'm going to.
Yeah, that's a good one. Hey, let's let's get on down the road. What do you say? shaking and baking. It's again, it's Tuesday night. Welcome back to Behind the Hedges. It's a little after 9:30 now. I'm your host Mitch. This here is Matt, and tonight we're going to talk about something that has been, just burning up the headlines, and that is the great Arch Manning. Here it comes.
I wake up every minute with the fever dreams. I push my mind to a limit where it needs to be. I work blind, got vision I don't need to see. I'm picking mind over matter, I believe in me. I need to find more hours in the day to breathe. Need to find more power in the way I be.
I got asked about it today at work from a Notre Dame fan, as a matter of fact, who said, "So where's Arch Manning going to go? Is he going to go to Georgia? Is he going to go to Bama? Is he going to go to Texas?" And I'm like, "Well, let's break that down. It looks like that Bama has backed off a little bit. It looks like Bama has decided to go in a different direction, and they actually just signed the top quarterback in the 2024 class. Did you see this kid that's committed to Bama? Handsome dude, and 2024. So it looks like Bama's probably going to be okay with quarterbacks for a while. So it looks like they've kind of backed off of Arch, and that leaves basically Texas and Georgia. And I also just read an article today that said, Texas appears to have the lead on Georgia for Arch Manning, and maybe they do, maybe they don't. I don't know, but I just want to ask this question, and I have no answer for this. Right? If Arch Manning is what they say he is, okay, we're going to entertain the possibility that he is what they say he is, and that is all that and a bag of chips. Why are you going to Texas, who sent 0 guys to the NFL draft, when you could go to Georgia, who sent 15 guys to the NFL draft? Texas and Georgia are not equitable programs right now. They're very, very different programs right now. And that was one of the things that Saban said to Arch Manning. He said that he told Jalen Hurts that. He told Tua Tagovailoa that, it's like when you are just trying to decide where to go where the players are, because they're the ones that are going to make you better. So why are we going to Texas again? I don't know. So that brings us, let's backtrack a little bit though, and I want to ask you something, Matt. Is Arch Manning who they say he is?
Can I first give you my thoughts on Arch Manning?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
My thoughts are, I don't give a shit. You know why I don't give a shit?
Why is that?
This kid's tape don't match his rankings. If you changed his last name to Jones, we're not even talking about this. This is a bad example of one of the things I hate about college football, which is the beauty pageant aspect of it, where people have already made up their minds because he is a Manning, he's going to be the greatest thing in football since the forward pass.
I want to be really fair. I want to say that there's no doubt in my mind that Arch Manning is a legitimately good and talented football player. I mean, he comes from good stock. He's had some of the best instruction that they are, and I just want to be good and fair, right?
But let me put it to you like this. I'll be pleased as punch if he picks Georgia, but we're not quarterback you. Kirby Smart has shown that quarterback is not a priority. We got a 5-star and 2 very high 4-stars sitting on the bench right now, while a walk-on Hobbit is our starter. Plus, you have the Fields fiasco. You got plenty of criticism, and it's all legitimate about Kirby Smart and quarterback. So you ask, why is Texas in the lead? Maybe Arch Manning thinks that he trusts Steve Sarkisian's vision at the quarterback position more than he trusts Kirby Smart. And if he did, I would say, well, you're not lying.
Good luck to you, I guess. I don't know, man. It could be one of those things though, where it's like you said, it's the beauty pageant thing, right? If Georgia is able to sign a guy like Arch Manning, not a guy like Arch, there is no guy like Arch Manning, right? Let's be honest. There is no guy like that. He is unique in his situation, and it has very little to do with his ability, right? It's all the name brand.
Pedigree and name brand.
Yeah.
I'll tell you this: Quinn Ewers was supposed to be the greatest thing since the forward pass. He's got 4 years of eligibility, and he's bought in at Texas Longhorns. Now, if you go there and Quinn Ewers, for whatever reason, decides to play for a minute, you're going to be sitting for a minute.
True. Why not? I don't think that Quinn and Arch are going to be able to coexist on the same roster for very long.
Ewers has already transferred once. I mean, he's already. So, I mean, again, if Manning comes to Georgia, great. If he doesn't, great. I don't think I'm more concerned if we start losing those 5-star defenders, because our identity, we're defense. We brought defense back. Sorry.
It was dead on the table. We went to the funeral.
Kirby Smart came in there and hooked it up to the lightning machine. It's alive! And it can win championships.
Yeah, it can. Hey, but I would love to hear, if you're watching this show right now, put it in the comments. I would love to hear. What are your thoughts on Arch Manning? Is this a player that we should pursue? Are Matt and I wrong on our take here, or is there some validity to what we're having to say? Should we pursue him? Should we not? Should we let it play it out as it may? What are your thoughts? Because certainly it is a headline that people are talking about, and that's all I got to say about that. Y'all stick around. Don't you have a degree in clinical psychiatry? Haven't you helped people? Haven't you ever brought people out of the dark, Matt? You certainly bring a ray of sunshine into my life every week. And so I want to talk about some coping mechanisms that you might want to share with some of our brethren. Let's do that right after this.
I wake up every minute with the fever dreams. I push a mind to a limit where it needs to be. I work blind, got vision I don't need to see. I'm picking mind over matter, I believe in me. I need to find more hours in the day to breathe. Need to find more power in the way I be.
Dude, the level of cope these other fan bases right now has got me concerned.
Oh yeah, why is that?
Professional help must be sought. Therapy is needed. In the words of Kirby Smart, we have broken these bitches.
He did say that.
All they had in their miserable lives was 1980. They had it like a gun, cocked, loaded, and pointed right at our heads forever. And then we took it away from them, turned those some bitches sideways, and jammed it right up their candy asses. And now they don't know what to do.
Have you ever watched a Marshawn Lynch interview?
A few of them.
You know, when they ask, Marshawn, what were you thinking on that long touchdown run? And he goes, I'm just here so I don't get fined. And that's all he's going to say.
Yeah.
Thank you for your question. I'm just here so I don't get fined.
Yeah, there you go.
That's the way that people used to argue with us. We would come up with these valid points and we would say, okay, we've done this and this in recruiting. Yeah. We did this and this in a game. This scenario happened over here. This other thing happened. We got lucky in this place right here. And they would go, 1980. and that was all they have to say. And how do you even argue with that?
Took it away from them, broke it over our knee, broke them over our knee, and now the mental gymnastics went. That now it just doesn't even make sense anymore. There's still some out there still clinging to 1980. It took you 40 years to win one. Yeah. No, sir. Or ma'am, it took us 60 minutes and 33 points. Bye. When was your last one? And I'll say, Georgia's the best at everything. We're the best shit talkers because we had to be. But again, like I said last week, and I'm going to start going out in the internet and I'm going to start preaching peace and accept.
Oh, yeah. I'm
going to bring the light of UGA into your life. I'm going to make you see the light because I love y'all. And I want you to stop having to cope with this misery and this poverty. Guys, listen, Georgia fans, let the Bama Gump fans cry themselves to sleep about their injuries. Let them. Nobody gives a shit. The trophy's still in Athens. Let Tennessee and Florida wallow in their poverty. Let Tennessee and Florida stay jealous, wishing they was us. The championship's in Athens. And since it only started in 2014, they don't even have natties to claim anymore.
That's right. College football began in 2014, and if you didn't know that, you can go back and watch last week's show.
Playoff win or a playoff national championship, you ain't got shit. You have poverty.
I wanted to ask you something, Matt. For those folks at home who are watching us who don't know, we have a little Field of Streams Facebook chat, ongoing Facebook chat, and there's a number of people who have appeared on the show who made it into that chat, and it just kind of runs nonstop, and they talk about mostly football, but sometimes not, right? And occasionally, very occasionally, when the moon is just right and there's that nice little dew on the lawn, you can open up that chat and you can witness some real orange on orange violence. And this is what gives me joy. This is what sustains me, right? Every so often, those Tennessee boys will rise up and take a swipe at a gator.
It's sad in my heart that there could be so much hate in the world. Just don't understand it. But
so I saw a thing today. I wanted to ask you about it. It was on Brandon Adams' show. There was he mentioned that one of the Kentucky assistant coaches had made a comment about taking down Georgia, like the road to the east goes through Athens and all that, right? And so Kentucky has their sights set on Georgia.
Okay.
Now there are a lot of folks out there who would say that Georgia better watch out for Tennessee, or Georgia better watch out for Florida, or Georgia better watch out for maybe even South Carolina. They got a new Spencer Rattler on their team, right? Georgia better watch out for Oregon Ducks, right? There's a lot of teams that Georgia better watch out for, and that's been the case for a while now. How many times did we hear it last year? Georgia better watch out.
Here comes Arkansas. I'm telling you, they're big, and Sam Pittman knows, and I love me some hogs, and that's well documented. But boy, you're bringing up the weekly fairy tale.
Mm-hmm.
This is the week, and this is the team that's going to show these Georgia Bulldogs what time it is. Yeah. Every week you heard it. Okay.
So the fact is, I think Kentucky has a very talented football team. I think Tennessee has a very talented football team. I think Florida has had talented football teams in the past, right? And
wait a minute, no. What do you think of the ones now?
Well, like I said, I think that Florida's had some very talented football teams in the past, right?
The past meaning the spring game?
How
far in the past are you going?
Probably around the same time that Saban arrived at Alabama.
Well, shit, man, I got to pull up my old MySpace account to find that.
That was before college football began.
Yeah, dude, like Vine wasn't even a thing. We'll get into that on another show.
But the fact is, I think that all of those talented football teams still live under the boot soles of the Georgia Bulldogs. And we're just going to stand firmly on their necks and watch them squirm.
Out of love.
Out of love. That's right. Because we love you.
We love y'all. I almost feel like the warden in Cool Hand Luke. This is the way they want it. Well, they gonna get it.
He gets it.
Like it any more than you men.
Right. Some men you just can't reach.
It's unfortunate. I say. But
well,
yeah, I find it very interesting that people. I'm like, is it because they got nothing anymore? They had 1980, which was kryptonite. It was the sword in the heart. Now there's zilch. You can't see nothing. Is that why they're losing their minds? Or did we?
I think that no,
surreptitiously were we actually villains this whole time and actually pissed off a lot of people?
well, there's a lot been made about the SEC shorts characterization of Hope. You know, the character Hope. She's a heartbreaker and all this business, right?
Be careful, Tennessee. I'm telling you, she's a no good, two-timing, yellow bellied.
Hope has been with us for so long that people forgot what they haven't had enough experience with her, and so now she's all they have. She's all they have. You know, it's been a long time since 1998. It's been a long time since
2000.
Urban Meyer. Right? It's been a long time. So, and for Kentucky, Jesus Christ, how long has it been? Have they ever done anything?
No, Carolina. I mean, what do they got? I don't know. Like
Carolina won an ACC championship once upon a time, like 1969 or so. So I don't know. But now all they have is Hope, and that's who they're going to snuggle up with at night. We're going to snuggle up with a piece of hardware.
It's a pillow. I mean, I sleep on that hardware. I don't know what to tell you.
Crazy, man. Crazy.
Oh, it is crazy. But, go in peace. It's okay.
Peace.
Just because you're all going to die for real before your team ever wins another national championship, I'm not going to hold that against you. You'll be dead. You won't care.
Well, at least you got to see at some point in your lifetime. So, go in peace. Hey, that's all I got, Matt. So let's let these people go in peace. What do you say? I'm
down with it. Was there anything else we needed to touch on tonight?
Ah, man, just enjoy sleeping under our boot soles. That's all I got. We'll see you next Tuesday at 9:30.
Let them eat cake.
Peace.